Be strong enough to do this, or you couldn't carry my husband out of a fire, which my response is, he got himself in the wrong place if I have to carry him out of a fire. Be strong enough to do this, or you couldn't carry my husband.
Good morning, Owasso. This is the Twins with Owasso Live, and this is the Morning Loop. So yeah, I mean, this is no surprise. Like I said, we had a drill weekend this weekend, so we had no show Friday. So I mean, the wildfire's been going on for a while now. This is no news to anyone, but that right there made me laugh. So I wanted to start the show off with that. That is, I don't know what that is. I guess it's a man, or it's a chick that thinks it's a dude, or a dude that thinks it's a chick. Basically saying, if you got into a situation that, you know, I need to be pulling you out or carrying you, you shouldn't have got yourself. Like, that's the job. That's what being a firefighter is, or a police officer. You run into the burning building. You do the thing that nobody else is willing to do. And then you got this soy-infested trans person being like, hey, I don't have to do that. I don't need to save you. That's not in my job description. Like, this is what happens when you have DEI. DEI puts unqualified people in positions of authority and power where sometimes self-sacrifice is required. But again, we live in the age of affirmation. Affirm me, love me, accept me for what I am. And I don't want to do the job. I don't want to do, like, I'm the admin person. I'm the second in command person, or I'm somebody who sits at a desk all day. I don't put my life on the line. Those are the positions that they're giving to the DEI people. I mean, this is why DEI is so bad. It's bad for the country. It's bad for any business. You know, it's like that. I mean, remember when we did that video about how companies aren't diverse companies, or excuse me, successful companies are diverse companies. That's not true.
It's the opposite. It's successful companies become diverse
because
they don't start off diverse.
Yes, they don't start off diverse. They start off with a bunch of people who are like-minded. Surround yourself with hyper-motivated people who are willing to sacrifice their time and effort in order to grow the company. Then, as things go on, you get HR departments, you get PR departments, and then these people start going, this is what we need in order to, appease government officials or get tax write-offs. Again, remember, CEOs get like an additional $3 million if paid by BlackRock and other companies that are trying to force these DEI initiatives on major companies and corporations. And they go, CEO, if you meet this quota, even if the company is net negative profits this year, you get an additional $3 million to your salary because you diversified it. That's what's so gross about it. And it's the same with California. California is leading the charge. Like, California is literally driving off the cliff. And if they haven't already driven off the cliff, the bus is on the edge of the cliff, and it's like this. Kind of just, like in a movie, it's just kind of teeter-tottering back and forth. Like, everyone's like, run to the back of the bus. And you have the Democrats being like, jumping up and down by the driver's seat going, no, this is okay. We can get to the bottom. It's not that far down. It's not a bottomless abyss.
This is the way.
This is the way. God.
But speaking of weird things going on in California, I have this first video pulled up right here. It says a friend in LA just took this video, and it's Elon Musk posted this. This is like a week ago.
Mm-hmm. Elon's friend?
Yeah, that's what he says. But anyway, I'm just seeing all this destruction, and the fires are still roaring in California. And I just heard from my mother yesterday, which I don't know if this is true. She didn't have any sources for me. She was just telling me about it. Mm-hmm. But it sounds like something California would do. I said, that's the scary part. It's not far off base. They're trying to send in neighboring states fire trucks to come in and help out to fight the fires. But guess what? They're having emissions checks, and all the fire trucks are failing the emissions checks.
Yeah.
As they're coming in, so they're turning them around and sending them back. Like, you're polluting our environment, so you can't bring those trucks in. Now, I hope that's fake. I really do. That's why I'm starting off with this part, because I don't want to be giving out any false information. But that does not sound far off base from something California would do.
Allow me to tell you a story that I heard while we were doing a military brief. In like the battalion leadership meeting. Like, this is not like privy information, but like, so you know how we're all basically going to be out in the field for the next several months, and we're all going to be doing patrol-based operations, and we're all going to be patrol-based operations are basically like you make a hasty sleeping position for like when you're out in the field doing stuff at night. But the whole purpose of like, and so when I say we're doing defensive operations, like what we're planning on doing is, digging and fighting in, basically World War II trench warfare, or, World War I trench warfare. We're going to dig holes, but we're not allowed to dig holes. You have to have a permit that it goes 6 months out ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason we can't do it because we can't get approval for it is because they have to do an environmental survey on the areas where we dig our holes.
Well, doesn't that beat all? Like, as if in the middle of a heated firefight environment, you're going to be like, quick, we need to check the environment before we start digging these foxholes.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, remember that we are military. Like, the most basic thing we do at basic training is like they just start digging holes. You know what I mean? Like that's what we did at basic training. Like, granted, do I mind that I don't have to dig a hole? No, I mean that's cool. I don't want to have to dig a hole. That's more work that I have to do. But that's the purpose of being a soldier. Like, you do the things you don't want to do. And like I said, how can we train effectively and efficiently and set up a proper defensive position if we can't even dig a hole in the ground because the Army and the military and the people that run the base there go, hey, you have to have an environmental survey done on wherever you're digging your holes. Make sure we're not destroying the world.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm pretty sure man's been digging holes since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
Like, what are we talking about here? Like, this is crazy. Like, soldiers can't even dig holes to set up defensive positions for training. So that's what I'm talking about here. Like that what Mom sent does not surprise me at all. Yeah. We got to figure out what the environmental effect all these additional fire trucks are going to have on
at this point, I would say the fire is having more of an environmental effect than any fire truck emissions would be.
Oh, I know. It's like, what are you doing with all the smoke being pumped into the atmosphere and all the chemicals that are basically erupting inside these buildings?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what chemical plants have burnt down? You're worried about how much CO2 and carbon emissions the fire trucks coming in to save your state are going to bring in. Like, oh, my God. How stupid can government bureaucracy become?
Yeah. This next one I pulled up from Tim Pool. This entire neighborhood, like city, just this whole block is just gone. Yeah. Burnt down. I mean, I remember one of the first times we ever went to California as kids, and we had that conversation where they talked about where the driver was telling us, yeah, like none of these buildings are really up to code because they're built so close together. Mm-hmm. So that's what they're always worried about, these fire hazards, because there's no way to prevent one building from not catching on fire because of how
they're built.
They
had no building regulation back in the day, you know. Buildings were just right up. You could have a skyscraper next to a shack, essentially.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Then we'll scroll up and get to the other stuff. This is all the stuff we kind of went over with the Zuckerberg stuff the other day. Mm-hmm. Go back to it. Here we go. L.A. County, 72 genders, 0 operational fire hydrants.
Yeah, and now they're trying to like dole off and say, no, the fire, there's water there. It's just an infrastructure that's not working. Again, this is the problem with all civilizations right now. People want to do the big, shiny, fancy thing. That's what they want to see. They don't want to do the not sexy jobs. Like, they don't want to work on the infrastructure. Like, I remember when I was doing my, what do you call it? What is that called when we do our operational environment?
Operational environment, yeah.
Mine was infrastructure, and I was talking about how, and I had basically did a bunch of research into Russia, plumbing and stuff is falling apart because nobody wants to pay to do that unsexy job to keep the pipes maintained. Like, that is the jobs that we really need to focus on. Like, if you can update the pipes, update the water systems, like update my dad told me a joke back in the day. It's like, why is the asshole always in charge? It's like, so, you have the brain, the heart, the lungs, all basically arguing for who's going to be the boss, who's going to be in charge of the operation. Mm-hmm. And then but they go, at the end of the day, the asshole's always in charge. And they're like, and you're like, why is the asshole always in charge? Because whenever shit gets backed up, everyone stops working. Everything stops working. Mm-hmm. So the asshole is always the one in charge. Mm-hmm. That's true for infrastructure. Like, I mean, like, the minute infrastructure, I guarantee you, if you can't flush your toilet, people are going to start throwing crap fits. Like, the entire city will shut down. Be like, my running water's not working. What the heck's all this about? Like, that's what it's going to be, folks. Like, that's where people like
and that's nothing that a politician can run on either. It's like, I'm going to fix the infrastructure, and that's
it's
what Trump's
not,
trying to run on right now.
It's not sexy.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't.
What
catch
is
the
sexy
attention.
is
free healthcare.
Yeah.
We're going to save the environment. We're going to save the world from people.
Yeah.
We're going to do environmental surveys and stop carbon emissions. Like, you know what we really need to focus on? Again, infrastructure. Let's make sure the pipes, make sure all the running water's working.
Make sure the roads are fixed.
Yes, that's the stuff, the not sexy stuff.
Yeah. Said, but that's what, remember, that's what most Democratic politicians run on, are that sexy stuff. It's like education, healthcare, saving the planet.
Mm-hmm.
Those are fun and exciting things, whereas, what do the conservatives run on? Financial responsibility, lowering taxes, fixing our infrastructure. That's not sexy. No one remembers that. They said everyone remembers the big fancy park that gets put up at the end of the day. They don't remember the roads are falling apart.
Yeah, I mean, this is the way it is with colleges too. It's like, I mean, what is it? Texas Tech has like a lazy river now or something. Like they're building just.
I think it's just Texas.
But I mean, it's just stupid shit. Like, I mean, like, you're not going to college to go to a theme park or an amusement park. You're going to college to get educated and get the hell out and get into the workforce. But now it's like, no, stay here in college as long as you can.
Mm-hmm.
Keep paying us money as long as you can. And then we get government subsidies to keep building useless shit. And as long as they say it's for educational purposes, and sometimes recreational stuff can be said it's educational for, it's like, it's for the students. It's for the children,
Mm-hmm.
It's like, stop treating college students like freaking kids. But then, I mean, look at the world we live in right now. Like the freaking dumb people my age and younger who are just effectively, functionally useless, retarded children.
Yeah.
It's like, I believe in free healthcare and Bernie Sanders, bro. It's like, okay, well, the education system has failed.
Yeah.
If people are voting Democrat, the education system has failed.
All right. This next one I pulled up is a comment from George Alexpocalypse. I can't pronounce that name. It says, don't worry. I'm an emergency responder. Looks like you. Help. Who looks like you? And then help. My husband's still in there. And he goes, my leg is broken. I can't get up. It's our favorite little diversity hire. Looks like he got himself in the wrong place.
You know who that guy looks like? I just realized it. He looks like Ralphie May.
That's true.
It looks like a transgender Ralphie May.
May.
Ralphie May is like a big fat comedian who passed away
pull him up
a
real
while
quick.
ago. But yeah, it's like trans Ralphie May is how I describe that person. Like that's hilarious. Yeah, get a picture of Ralphie May pulled up. There he is. Yeah, that's Ralphie May.
Images.
Yeah, God rest his soul.
It does look like her.
Yes, that's him. I'm
Let's
telling
pull
you,
this picture up
it's
right
the
here.
reincarnated Ralphie May, or he just pretended to die and got more famous and became trans.
Yeah, literally, it's like a black lesbian Ralphie May. That's wild.
Yeah.
The resemblance is
Yeah,
uncanny.
I saw that thing. I was like, "That's Ralphie May in that comic. Like, that's not that person." Like,
Wow, that's hilarious.
looks like you got yourself in the wrong position there, buddy. Like, but
Mhm.
yeah, what a perfect comic right there. I mean, could you fathom a soldier saying that? It's like, could you fathom a police officer saying that? Could you fathom anybody else besides a transgender firefighter from California saying something like that? I mean, that should be right there, a automatic firing. It's like, you signed up to go out and help and save people, and you just said, well, you got yourself in a position that, I'm just not willing to go into.
Mhm.
It's like, okay, well, it's like, same here for me. I don't think I should have to go to war. I mean, why should I? I mean, it's not my fault America got itself in the wrong situation.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and also just to prove, here is the actual video from that video that we played at the beginning. That was kind of funny. There were the
the
Space
Templars,
Marines
yeah.
or the Templars like executed them.
Yeah.
This is the actual commercial. This was an actual commercial.
This is
for-
a public relations
yeah.
commercial that some idiot thought was okay to put out.
Yep.
But again, this is the world we live in today. It's like, you know what doesn't matter? A functioning fire department that actually goes out and helps people. You know what does matter in a fire department? Diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Yep. So I'll pull this up. Here we go.
You want to see somebody that responds to your house, your emergency, whether it's a medical call or a fire call, that looks like you. It gives that person
No, I
a
don't.
little bit more ease, knowing that somebody might understand their situation better. Is
No.
she strong enough to do this? Or you couldn't carry my husband out of a fire, which my response is, he got himself in the wrong place if I have to carry him out of a fire.
Are you?
Thank God we have diversity.
Again, what matters is the person coming to save you looks like you and can have a similar background to you. No, it's not. What matters is that whoever's coming to do the job can freaking do it.
Yes.
And if you're a firefighter, can you come in and save me if I'm trapped under a freaking, part of the frame of the house?
Yeah. The whole point is meritocracy. Meritocracy is what matters. It's, are you good enough to do the job? I mean, not that we're discriminating or anything like that, but there's a reason why there's like no females or women in special forces or even in Rangers or whatever else, any type of special echelon of military personnel. There's hardly any. It's less than 1%. And there's a reason for that. And it's a sad biological reality.
Yeah. Men live under the philosophy, I will sacrifice myself for the greater good, for those around me. And then women will do that, but they'll do it for their kids. Now, I'm not saying all women won't go out and protect other people. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it's not the first instinct of the vast majority of women, which is why the vast majority of women do not do those things. Like I said, I have brothers and sisters in arms. There are girls in my company. There are female soldiers who are in leadership. Like, if they can do all the standards and do everything to the same way I can do it, they got the job. I'm not going to ever complain about someone who meets the standard.
Yep.
But you can't tell me Chubbs McKenzie there met the standard.
Yeah, I doubt she's making her run time.
Yeah. Do you think she's going to run that into that burning building in full gear and run a 440? Hell no. I don't care who it is. I want that big, jack, strong white male coming in to save me. Or the freaking NFL player breaking down the door and coming to get me. I don't care what your race is. I don't care what your gender is. It could be a butch NFL, bull dyke lesbian coming in there. As long as she can carry me out of the fire, I don't care.
Yep.
At the end of the day, it's like, I don't want to die. And this guy is basically saying the opposite. Well, if you die, you die. You shouldn't have got yourself in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
So
next one I have pulled up is some AI-generated art right here. Fire Us from Adam Carolla.
Yeah, that's Gavin Newsom and the mayor of Los Angeles. I mean, look at that. How's diversity working for you in leadership right now, folks?
Yeah.
I mean, all you had to do was a handful of controlled burns in LA's areas.
This is the big thing we're talking about. Is like, we live on a bunch of family acreage right now, and we constantly have to burn leaves and do back burns and tend the property, like chainsawing and getting rid of trees constantly, because we know that if it gets out of control, you won't be able to control a burn or anything like that happens.
Yeah.
This is why country folks know more about what's going on than people in California. It's a bunch of city folks who are pretending like they know what to do, who have never been in the woods and know how to tend property.
Look, people who live in the country, people who live on farms, we have significantly less leisure time than you. Like, people who live in the city, you work, you go home, and you play. Because most of you don't even own your homes. You're either permanent renters, or if you have a home, it's in a city, so you don't really have much to do as far as property upkeep.
Your lawn care is literally like 5 minutes long.
If that, especially if you live in a place like New York or LA, you don't have a lawn. They don't even, you don't have grass in LA. You have dirt or gravel in your backyard. So it's absolutely insane. And, we understand that you have to take care of your property. You have to do backburns. You have to get rid of dead wood, dry wood. And to them, that's crazy talk. It's like whenever you had friends from school and we'd start burning, you guys get to set fires on your property, and you'd be raking leaves in the fall and they'd set fires. Okay, this is fun. And then after about the first time they burn one pile of leaves, it's like, okay, this isn't fun anymore, because it's work. So again, people just don't understand. And if California, instead of hiring diversity, equity, inclusion, they sent out and they had their firefighters or some type of Parks and Rec service go out in their foliage and go out there and do some small controlled burns, your entire wood line would not go up in flames. But again, like I said, I mean, this little cartoon we're watching here, or whatever, this AI generated thing, it doesn't matter. The things that matter are...
It's the Titanic theme. That's why I can't play it. But it's the Titanic theme that they're all playing as, California's burning behind them.
Yeah. Is that Rosie O'Donnell?
A bunch of like trans firefighters putting on makeup and stuff.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny. Like I said, I'd recommend people watching it. It's pretty funny.
Yeah,
It's
just
all
Barbra
these
Streisand,
celebrities that
yeah.
are all there leaving now.
Yeah, again, and State Farm, Allstate, like they've been canceling policies. They were canceling all these policies last year. Like they said, we're non-renewing you because they saw the writing on the wall. They had people go out there and do
Everyone's
land surveys and building surveys and go out in the woods and be like, okay, yeah, this is why we can't insure this. This is why we're not going to insure this anymore. This is why rates are skyrocketing. And remember, you want to know why your rates are going up here in the state of Oklahoma? It's because Allstate and State Farm have lost millions of dollars of revenue. They're saving themselves money in the long run, don't get me wrong. But imagine if you canceled all your policies in a state. Well, that's millions, maybe billions of dollars in revenue you're not seeing anymore. So what are they doing here? They go, we lost millions and billions of dollars in revenue, Mr. CEO. So what do? Well, hike up the prices in other states and we'll declare them fire hazard states too, but we won't cancel those policies there.
Yeah. And then other things that we haven't even talked about yet is the fact that they cut the budget of the fire department by like $17 million or billion or whatever it was. And right before all this stuff happened, when they knew that they had all these infrastructure problems.
Do you think any of those DEI employees are taking a pay cut? Probably not. They're saving money by getting rid of the departments and getting rid of qualified people, and they're giving bonuses to trans and diversity DEI leadership. Like, you guys are the real heroes. You know?
Yeah. Honestly, actually, I think I have some memes about that here in a little bit. So this next one I have pulled up is when California citizens realize every branch of government in their state is run by Democrats. And it's Nelson from The Simpsons. I'm in danger.
Yeah, California, you're all in danger. What is this?
California with their... Now you got these news anchors calling for Ron DeSantis and the other Republican governors to go out to California with their resources and go help them out and show them how it's done. Why didn't you do that for North Carolina? Why didn't you do that for Maui? You didn't, right? Because the people in North Carolina are still sleeping in tents in the freezing cold. And the people in Maui got $750. Then you had Oprah and The Rock calling out for us to make donations. They got more money than fucking God knows what. I'm not understanding this logic. Well, it's because it's LA, I forgot. So all the DEI hires, they can't do their job, right? Is that what you're saying? All those DEI hires can't do their job? No kidding. Get the fuck out of here with this fucking... You know, I fucking had enough. I had enough.
Language advisory.
Yeah.
But yeah, folks, I mean, again, and you know what's funny too is I saw that we were watching an actual Justice Warriors video on this, and all these celebrities and a lot of these people and a lot of these politicians like Pocahontas, Warren, Elizabeth Warren.
Mm-hmm.
They're putting out saying donate to this so we can help LA. If you click on the links, it's actually not for donations for LA. It's for Act Blue. It's a Democrat super PAC. You're not if you donate to any of the things that these California politicians are putting out, it's not actually for the fire. They're raising money for Act Blue,
Which is a
Democratic super PAC that
that
donates exclusively to Democratic politicians. So basically what you're doing is you're throwing your money in the trash to more Democratic politicians to basically be like, I'm the Democrat that's going to come in and fix all the problems in California.
Yep.
You know, there's a reoccurring theme with Democratic cities in this country, and it all is the same. They're burning, whether it be literally burning or whether it be they're dying from bad government policy, or riots are erupting.
Yeah.
You know, you don't see this kind of stuff in conservative areas.
Mm-hmm. And then that brings up my next point right here, which is politicians are the lowest form of life on earth, and liberal Democrats are the lowest form of politician. General George S. Patton.
Yeah. God, you know. Patton, it's a shame that he died in a car wreck that, you know, a lot of people think that the CIA was involved in back in the day because he was so ready to lead the charge into Russia at the time.
Now, we were just talking about this, is like how they're demanding Republican governors to come help and do all this stuff, which we already talked about with them sending fire trucks in that are failing emissions, which I hope that's fake. I really do hope that's fake. I hope they're not turning away fire engines that are coming in to help because they're failing emissions tests. But two is, where was this help for North Carolina? Where was this help for Hawaii? Was California sending money to Hawaii? Like, I mean, these are the issues that we're having. Were they sending money to Georgia and all these other states that were affected by that hurricane? like in Asheville, not Tennessee, but Asheville, North Carolina. I mean, why is it never the other way around? Why aren't these liberals helping us?
Yeah.
You know, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's absolutely ridiculous. And then two, their mayor was out of the city. I forget her name. I don't even want to know her name, but she was out of the country going to a
Something
presidential
Africa.
election in Ghana because of the first female presidential or prime minister or whatever it was election. And she was out of the country during all this. And if you remember when Ted Cruz was out when the
snowstorm
the
hit.
snowstorm hit, and like only like part of the
He was
population
going
went without power.
to Cancun or something on vacation with his family,
Mm-hmm.
and then everyone threw a fit, going, "Ted Cruz isn't even in the state when this winter storm hit. He's on the beach." Like nobody gives a damn. It's all politics. It's all political posturing.
But getting back to that, I was like, okay, so if it was that important that Ted Cruz, the governor of the state of Texas, had to be back in Texas when a natural disaster hit, why on earth is there not the same level of scrutiny from the left on this mayor?
There is no. They have no standards. If they didn't have double standards, they'd have no standards. It is all politics. Again. They attacked Ted Cruz for being on a vacation he'd planned for like a year. It was on the books for a year. He could not have predicted that this winter storm was going to blow in.
Well, and then here's the other part. Like I say this right here. This is a good little political cartoon. Poor forest management, no water, the smelt fish, shipped equipment to Ukraine, DEI focus, cutting the fire departments by $17 million to go to the homeless. Enough firefighters after firefighters after firing hundreds who were refused the COVID jab, and then the green agenda, and then left-wing policies is what's lighting us down on fire. Now, here's the other point: is like Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren and several other Democratic politicians are all blaming climate change for what's going on.
It turns out it's
homeless
immigrants,
people.
and illegal immigrants with blowtorches.
Yeah, setting fire to all the property.
You have a
out
bunch
there.
of mentally unwell people running around being able to light fires in a dry season. Like, I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, I guess, but this is, what do they say? They say the reason people are mass immigrating to other places is what Bill Nye was talking about years ago. You know, the reason people are mass migrating out of certain areas is because of climate change. Well, I guess we'll have to be mass migrating out of California for a while because of climate change, because mass immigration is climate change.
Yep, and then the whole thing, same thing with the sea levels. I forget where it was, but they showed like, I think it was the Statue of Liberty. It's like the sea levels have rose so much, the Statue of Liberty is still not below water.
Yeah, I mean, there are even places in Greece and the Maldives, like we're talking ancient like hot springs or hot like basically they look like spas or hot tubs. You know what I mean? And they're still out of the water and they're completely dilapidated and like barely standing. Concrete structures or whatever the heck they were made out of back then, stone structures, but they're still there, still visible, and they're still still water in them, and they're the sea line, so it's just like, what are we talking about here? Like, it's not the water, the sea, like it's not water world,
Yeah, the whole idea of like movies where something disappears or one resource disappears, like in Waterworld, the world flooded, and then in what's Mad Max, the seas receded.
The seas receded, yeah.
Then the next one I have here is from the Babylon Bee. Nation gets a preview of Gavin Newsom's presidency, and that's a great.
That's not even satire, Babylon Bee. That's just true.
Yeah. They said this will be true. This will be a true statement in the next election because Gavin Newsom is planning on running for president. And we're talking, this is Dianne Feinstein's nephew. This is how long he's had political ties in California.
Yeah, and she's got basically unlimited resources. She's like,
she's dead now.
She's dead. Yeah, but I mean, she did. I mean, she's got tons of money, and she was surrounded by Chinese foreign agents and assets.
Mm-hmm. Next meme I have pulled up is stop calling us far right because you should be calling us right so far.
Right, so that's good.
Yeah, that is good. Notre Dame quarterback. I didn't see this one. Notre Dame quarterback. Ryan Linney praises Jesus Christ after his Orange Bowl victory. I just trusted in the Lord. Yeah. This is hilarious because I actually saw that there was another quarterback the other day that was talking about God. He thanked God, and he wasn't of the staff on ESPN or whoever it was didn't allow him on stage to get the trophy. when he said that.
What?
Yeah, you didn't see this? Yeah, it was
Yeah,
crazy.
I think I do remember hearing something about it, but I just,
So that's the thing is like all athletes are usually pretty highly religious.
yeah.
They always are praising God, giving glory to God.
Look, most athletes are simpletons for the most part. They take their craft very seriously, and everything else falls to the wayside. They don't. It's like LeBron James. It's like he's always reading the first page of every book. It's like the man is a simpleton. He's not a genius. He's not smart. He's just really, 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 really good at basketball.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, and then whenever people ask him about what does he like about the book, and he's like, "Oh, I like the whole thing about how it's, it's inclusive and stuff." And you're like, "So you haven't read the book?"
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can, because they'll ask about certain aspects of the book, like because somebody who's interviewing will be like, "Yeah, my favorite part of the book was this," and he goes, "Yeah, that's a good part."
He goes, that wasn't in the book.
Yeah, I made it up.
Oh, anyway, this next one that I have here is another AI art generated. I did it, California. I saved the fish. Old Gavin Newsom carrying a little fishbowl while California burns mine.
Again, everyone, we keep trying to save endangered species. We keep trying to do environmental surveys. It's like, if people aren't alive, I mean, I don't really think that an endangered fish species is really going to make a difference when you run for re-election when people are, again, but this is what we've done. We've devalued human life. Abortion is rampant in this country. That people like their dogs more than they're like, who would you save? It's like when you ask people, it's like, who would you rather save? If the building was on fire, would you go in and save your dog, or would you go in and save a stranger who was in your house? It's like, look, I love my dog, but we're all humans are made in the image of God. Therefore, we are inherently valuable by our design. Like, there's something divine about our nature. My dog is awesome. I love my dog. But this is the world they're creating. It's like we don't care about other people. Mm-hmm. People don't matter. Like, in fact, I mean, this is what they want. They want people to die in mass scale because, remember, we're overpopulated.
Yep.
Even though there's millions of acreages still uninhabited by people.
Yep. This next one I have pulled up is the best meme of all time. It's the guy getting tossed out of the building. Mm-hmm. It says, all right, team, it's almost fire season. I need some resilience ideas. Controlled burns, working fire hydrants. How about we make the firefighters gay? They make the mayor the employee of the month.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, anybody who even touts some type of DEI policy, as long as, again, it's like army crap. It's like toe the line, mother effers. It's like, as long as you toe the line, even if you know the line's being towed in the wrong direction, leadership will love you. It's like, yeah, it's like, I think this is a bad policy, and I think it's going to hurt the vast majority of the Army or whatever organization you're with. But as long as you are toe the line, mother effer, you toe the line in the direction that the company wants to go, again, even if it's the wrong direction, you will be lavished, love, and they'll send you to the top. But they'll help you lead the charge with everybody toeing the line, pulling the thing off the cliff.
Mm-hmm. 100%. Next one I have here is from the Daily Mail. Reposted by Benny Johnson. This is borderline criminal. How does she still have a job? LA's $750K year water chief, Janice Quintantone, I don't know how to say that, knew about the empty reservoir and broken fire hydrants for months before the fire. And this is her right here, if you can see the little picture of her down here at the bottom. Yeah, she knew that this was happening, and they said that they were under construction to put a roof over them. They were going to have like a roof over it. And like there was a guy, I wish I had the video because I saw it the other day and I forgot to share it.
Yeah.
But it was a guy that was like, there's no construction material out here. They said that this has been on the job for like 5 years. There's no construction
This
material.
This is what happens when you have, this is what Larry Elder was trying to run for government for. It's like he's trying to get rid of all the red tape. Like we have to do a 2-year environmental survey before we can even start building. Again, 6 months survey for soldiers to dig a effing hole in the ground for a defensive position. 6 months environmental study has to be done. So we have to submit a request 6 months before we decide, hey, is this the month we actually want to go out and dig holes and do defensive perimeter operations? And like, yeah, no. And then like, I mean, they're sitting in a meeting and they're like, no, there will be no digging because we haven't done an environmental survey in any of these areas surrounding the camp.
Correct.
I'm like, are you freaking kidding? Digging a hole that just a person can lay down in. And that's all of California. It's like every single job, every single building you build. Before you can build this fence, we have to make sure that a group of sea fish aren't going to be able to, it's like it could be sea turtles, it could be whatever. It could be, there could be an insect species here. It's like, sorry, we have to understand exactly how it's going to affect the roly-polies. I mean, the roly-polies might need to get under your fence. So, I mean, you could be blocking them from their family.
Yep. His next one here is Smokey the Bear, because political cartoon Smokey the Bear smacking a shovel in the head with Gavin Newsom. I love it. I love it. Okay, next one. States with Trump governors preparing to combat Trump. California, New York, and Illinois. Top states that Americans are moving out of. California, New York, and Illinois. That's all you need to know.
Guys, California used to be the place people went to. It is not anymore.
Same with
The
New York.
Midwest and Texas and Florida are where people are going now. I can't tell you how many people move here from California going, wow, houses are really cheap out here. And then they go, well, insurance not, though. I'm like, yeah, because California also set another big reason why State Farm and Allstate left California was because of they couldn't raise the rates here. They basically made policies.
They had insurance caps. Yep.
Yeah, you cannot raise these rates any higher. And it goes, then we cannot reasonably insure any of these houses because of the risks that are out here in the state. Like, we just can't do it. If these houses burn down, we're not going to have enough money in our entire company to rebuild this place. And I guess they're all sitting there. Like, Allstate and State Farm are going, woohoo, dodged a bullet there.
Yeah.
They're not taking any market loss right now.
100%. Next one I have pulled up is Gavin Newsom riding a bicycle, and then he puts the stick in his own spoke, government incompetence, and it says, stupid climate change.
Again, another perfect meme right there, summing up the situation perfectly.
Then here is a little interview with old Newscomb right now, and they're asking about how he feels about Trump calling for his dismissal, and he's just like, he just basically obfuscates and just ignores the problem. Let's check this out.
We have to keep people safe, no looting, zero tolerance for looting. That's why these guys are out here, and I'm very grateful for them, particularly for these critical checkpoints that allow law enforcement to move more mobily and do the interior work. We have to keep.
So this is Elon Musk reposting this, and it's from a Muse. Looting. Governor Newsom and California Democrats literally decriminalized looting and barring police from arresting looters and prosecutors from prosecuting them. Now he's opposed to looting, so he's deployed the National Guard to stop looting during all these fires that are going on. So remember, what was it? The law that just got repealed, like you could only prosecute up to like crimes that were committed over $1,000. With Prop 36 or whatever is the one that repealed that. So now you can prosecute them for whenever. I mean, and he railed against it. Remember, Gavin Newsom railed against Proposition 36. Railed against it. Him and Kamala Harris. So why are Democrats pro-criminal?
Yeah.
It's very strange. Very strange.
Again, what matters is making sure criminals don't get prosecuted. Who gives a damn about the infrastructure of the state? That's not sexy. Black Lives Matter isn't going to throw. I mean, I guess they could have started the fires, but they're not going to throw fires over the fact that they can't flush toilets. That'll just cause a general riot by everybody in the city. Remember, infrastructure ain't sexy. What is sexy is appeasing ridiculous activist groups. That's what's sexy. It's
building
like
a park, and
coming
a
out
theme
and
park.
standing with BLM, like, I'm on your team, guys. I like black people too. Or it's like, I like all immigrants, so all immigrants. I can do a big PR stunt, like, mean conservatives don't like immigrants. I do. Photo op, ha 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 ha. You know what I mean? Instagram, TikTok. Here we go. Like, that's the kind of society we live in. We live in the social media, instant gratification society, affirmation society, instead of, again, dealing with the infrastructural problems. If you ever see a politician standing out with people in public and doing pictures, that means they're not doing their job. That means they're just doing PR shit. PR shit is useless. It's worthless.
Yep. Next one I have pulled up here is another AI art of looks like a trans, gay firefighter, and then there's walking next to Gavin Newsom. He says, "Be ashamed of who you are." Love it. Love it. It says, "We let illegals set people on fire." Gavin Newsom, hold my beer. I let them burn down a cities.
Yeah, I mean, you create your own hell, folks. You create your own hell. I know I feel bad for all the conservatives and Republicans that live out in that state, but I mean, you guys have to have better marketing, and you've got to get your state under control. Yeah. You can only flee these areas for so long, and you got to get in there and get in the fight and retake this and do what Larry Elder attempted to do. Get in there and recall Gavin Newsom.
Next one I have pulled up here is me sitting quietly watching another episode of Diversity is Our Strength.
Yeah, no shit. That's a good one.
Yep. That's what I thought. Yikes. Gavin Newsom slashes state fire budget over $100 million just before deadly California fires, which is Southern
SoCal.
California.
Yeah,
SoCal. Oh, my God. Gavin Newsom demands answers from whoever's in charge of California. New, I'm calling for an independent investigation into the water loss pressure for the community, for the local fire hydrants, and the reported unavailability of water supplies from Santa Ynez River, whatever it is. We need answers to ensure that this does not happen again, and we need every resource available to fight these catastrophic fires.
Yep. It's pathetic. I mean, I know that mayor's is freaking out, shitting her pants, like, oh my gosh, this is all going to fall on me.
Yep. Oh, this is just funny, but how do you know who's telling the truth? The ones trying to censor the people are always the lying ones.
Yeah, that's true.
Just looked at this one. Oh, this one's great from SKS Cartoons. What are you do? What the F are you doing? Don't you dare politicize this, as he's cutting the fire hose to fill the DEI budget. That's perfect.
Yeah, perfect cartoon right there, man. SKS always crushes it.
Mm-hmm. And this is great because this is exactly how Democrats operate. Mm-hmm. Our Democratic governor and mayor are destroying everything. I'm done. Next time I'm voting for a different Democrat.
Ain't that the way?
Mm-hmm.
Ain't that the way?
Yep. And this is just breaking news from 12 hours ago from Libs of TikTok. Death toll from the fires is now at 24.
I'm surprised it's that low. I'm betting it's probably way worse. I mean, how many homeless people are actually in the county? You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. Like, in this scenario, they're only going to count people who we know are dead in homes. You know, like people who died in their homes that we can actually see their bodies. Mm-hmm. I guarantee you, they're not going to go out there in the woods and look for dead bodies of homeless people. They're not going to go and care about that unless there are people burned in the streets. And, you know, people are filming it. You know. Mm-hmm. I said again. There's no way it's only 24 people as big as these fires are.
And as you can see here from this, these are people starting these fires right here. You can see that there's a person there starting the fire. Camera pointed at the Palisades before the fire appeared to have captured a man starting it. All the evidence points to this being an intentional fire, not climate change.
Easy there. This is obviously climate change. Again, remember, mass migration is climate change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, Bill Nye the Science Guy said this. I mean, it's
he just got a medal from the president. He must be right.
He must be right. I mean, Bill Nye says mass migration is caused by climate. So, in your face, evidence.
Yeah. This I just thought was good. Democrats lying their asses off. Community notes.
Yeah. Thank you, Community Notes. Again, Elon Musk buying Twitter was a good thing. You know, I know Elon Musk is kind of cracked down a little bit, but again, it might not be right, but I mean, at least the pendulum's coming back somewhat of the middle. But I mean, like the pendulum swing that we've had that's gone left. I mean, I don't know if it's ever going to be able to get back to like making the middle even look remotely like how the middle used to be.
Yeah.
I mean, the middle has changed so much.
Yes, it has. And like, here's the last one that we'll do before we start closing out. But it's the UK courts, because this is still hot news right now. Is SKS made another one? No more assaulting kids, okay? And he's giving the Islamic person a slap on the wrist. And then of course this UK guy's a slap on the wrist. That guy assaulted a child. And then of course you've got the judge being like, you'll rot in jail for hate speech for that.
Yep. Again, two-tier justice system here for immigrants and illegal immigrants, and two-tier justice there for child molesters. Mm-hmm. As long as you have dark skin color, you're going to be given a slap on the wrist and be treated like a child. Sorry, it's our fault you don't understand our customs.
Thanks. What did I do? Oh, yeah. This was sent by one of our, not this. I got to go back here. Why did it jump like that? It's okay, everyone. I'm a lesbian. This is sent from our listener Pamela Roden, and I love it. I love it.
Yeah, again, a perfect example of DEI. It's like, look here, everyone. It's you can't blame me. I'm a lesbian. I'm just a lady. It's like, how dare you? You guys elected me to do this. I didn't know I actually had to do work.
Mm-hmm. Said, but should I end it out with this one or this one for the show, Corey? The one where the person finds their dog, or this?
We can end out with Billy Madison. That's because Billy Madison's always a great way
All
to
right.
end it. But
Then I'll
it's
do this
just
one. Yeah.
ridiculous. Like, I mean, like, I sit there and I just wonder, like, is this? Here's the question for this one, folks. Watch this, see how ridiculous it is, and let me know if you think it's fake.
Yeah. Hi, Boo Boo. How's the fire? Oh, honey. Oh, honey. Oh, my God, you're alive. You're alive. Oh, honey. Oh, wow.
I don't know what to think of that. That seems a little too.
You can take him back. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Oh, thank you, God. NBC. Where's NBC? Where are you, Liz? Thank you. Oh, honey, thank you. Oh, God almighty. Okay.
I mean, if this is real, I mean, I'm happy his dog made it, but it just seemed too set up, you know?
5 days after the Palisade fire, victim has been reunited with his dog, Oreo, after losing his home in the blaze. Yeah, that seemed, I mean, and the dog looks like perfectly healthy, like not skinny or like dehydrated or anything. It's just a little weird.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, it could very well be fake. You know, it's like he just said, hey, you know, train the dog, go run up there and then run back, and then I'll throw a fit, you know.
Yeah.
The top comment I saw on this was, why are you gay? That was so, like, I saw it and I scrolled down one and there it was, like, why are you gay?
That's good. That's good.
But yeah, again, if it's real, awesome. It's awesome that, you know, you go home and you find a little miracle waiting for you. But at the same time, it just seems too real. It's like, you mean to tell me they walked up filming so they could get this guy's reaction when he called his dog and just be bawling his eyes out like, oh no, he's dead. He didn't come when I called him. But it's like, oh, perfect. We'll just get this and, oh, perfect. The dog is alive. You know, it's like, so they were going to film his grief when he called the dog and it didn't show up, or they were going to film his joy when he got, like, either way, you know, it's like one will delete the video, the other one will post, you know, like, what the heck? It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. There was a lot going on there.
Absolutely.
That seemed a little too perfect. And again, the dog showed no signs of, like, it's been 5 days.
Didn't show
with
any
no
signs
food
of, like,
or water, supposedly. That's
Yeah.
a little strange.
Yep. So anyway, I think that's about all we've got for you today. This is the Twins with the Owasso Live. This was the Morning Loop. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe so you too can stay in the loop. But that's all we've got. God bless you, everybody.
See you later, everybody.